All right, good morning, everyone. Today we have an exciting topic, how to increase our business. I know we're always trying to increase our business, but I have been getting this question a lot. I find a lot of people stopping by my office going, hey, I'm really slow now. What do I do? Because we've had a little bit of a pause in the market, I guess you could say. But I keep on telling everybody not to worry. I've seen it happen a million times before. Something changes, some criteria changes. Right now, it's been the interest rate, right? That hikes that we've been talking about. And it just halts it for a few minutes. Everybody kind of pauses, looks around, figures the things out, and the market gets back to it again. So what do you do during these slow times? And how do you increase your business? So this is kind of what I want to do. I want to inspire you guys. There's lots of different ways to do it. Some people like some ways over others, but there's just some consistent ones that you have to have at the core of it all. So the first thing I want to talk about is creating your center of influence. I think it's a theme that goes through every single conference I've ever been to for real estate. And I did it very early on in my career, and it's something I go back to consistently. So even right now, last couple of weeks, been a little slow. I go right back to my center of influence, pull people from there and start working from there. So what is your center of influence at the end of the day? Your center of influence is something you have to create. So you have to pull from your own leads, because right now, if you're a new agent or even if you're an existing agent, you don't have business right now. What do? So you have to create this list. It's basically a list, and you start with your best friends, your family, right? Then you're going to write down any of the past clients that you've been thinking of. Okay. I like this list because sometimes I forget even who I should be adding to my list and how I keep expanding my center of influence. So your center of influence is just a database you're going to pull from all the time for business. Your neighbors, right? Target and niche markets. Anybody that you called for sale by owners. And I hope you guys are taking down numbers every time you pass by a for sale by owner sign. Just because it's a for sale by owner doesn't mean they don't need a real estate agent. You already know they want to sell their house. So anytime you pass that for sale by owner sign, you're going to stop your car for a minute, take a picture or write down that number and add it to your phone and call it, right? Expireds and terminated. Now, technically in Canada, we're not supposed to chase those, but everybody does. And I'm going to tell you guys how to do it as well. Referrals. You're always asking for referrals. If you're not, then you're missing out on half your business. So remind your family and friends. It's not that they don't want to refer you. They just don't automatically think about that. If you don't ask for business, you're not going to get it, right? So you have to ask, hey, do you know anybody that's looking to buy or sell? All the time. Your family, your friends, everybody on your center of influence. And then we go into some other interesting ones and some areas that you need to learn to tap. So some of these I've tried, and some of these I could have good liaisons with, right? So are there any builders and developers that you know in your center of influence that you can pull business from? People you can talk to who interact with buyers and sellers all day long, right? They need some sort of representation. Mortgage brokers. Is there some sort of referral program you can get going with your mortgage brokers? You know, I give you business, you give me any business. Anybody who doesn't have a mortgage agent, I'll send them your way. Anybody who doesn't have a real estate agent, I'll send them your way, right? Financial planners and lawyers. Again, lawyers are closing transactions for us every day, and they might come across somebody who is, you know, unfortunately in the middle of a divorce or something that is changing, and they might be able to refer someone to you that they know is going to sell their property. Financial planners know people's worth and whether they have a little bit of equity in their home or maybe a little nest egg they can turn around and purchase other things with. They might suggest that to their client to expand their portfolio. Again, they can direct them your way and say, hey, you know what? This real estate agent can help you out. Property appraisers. I got to say, I've never got a referral from a property appraiser before. If you can figure out how to do it, that'd be great. Most of the time, those guys are in and out, 10 minutes, come and go. But I think this was a Leader's Edge. So this is Mike Ferry training that I had done once. And I always refer to this list because I just like it. I think it's pretty expansive. So insurance agents. Again, great people to get referral business from. They're really happy for the referrals from you because everybody who closes a home needs an insurance. Even our rental clients need tenant insurance, right? So they're good to get a good referral program back and forth with, because every single transaction we do, they need an insurance agent and they'll be happy to refer back. Community groups, they're a great thing to join. And like, if you like to be in your dance class or your yoga class or something, everybody that you see on a regular Thursday night in yoga, you get to remember their faces. It's good people to put into your center of influence. Landlords are a great people to help guide with their tenants. We can find them tenants, but they're also people who have income properties. They might be looking to expand and get other income properties. Wedding photographers. So I've actually got a referral from a wedding photographer before. I try and keep in touch with him. So it's good. So anybody who's taking wedding photography or any kind of photography really, but you can get in touch with them because they're going to know in advance if someone's booked with them and getting married that they're probably going to turn around and buy a home, and they'll probably be chatting with them about that, right? Your hairdressers and your spa you normally go to, or the barber. I always get, it's the barber I go to, not the hairdresser. So if you go to them on a regular basis, you can keep them in your center of influence. I actually used to, and it's not on here, I sold something to my dentist once. So now I don't have that dentist anymore. She's retired. But about 10 years ago, I helped her find a cottage property before she retired. So keep your dentist, your doctors on this list, right? Dry cleaners you go to on the regular basis. Headhunters is a great one. So if you get hooked up with, and Headhunters is kind of like corporate HR departments that I'm going to touch on there in 22, physician recruiters, these three kind of all go hand in hand, because people who are recruiting to the area. So if you have a regular staffing, especially for doctors, nurses, a lot of times they recruit they want specific types of people. They have a niche in their hospital, for instance, that they need. If you get in touch with those recruiter people, they're relocating those doctors, those physicians, those surgeons into the area. And they're good people to tap a little bit to find out, okay, they need them to come here for that position, but they also need to relocate them, and they're going to need to sell them a property. And renters, I always get the agents coming in going, oh, I hate working with rental properties, but be good to your renters. A lot of them turn into your purchasers, right? So you have to be able to treat them good at the end of the day, and you have to know how to align those clients. We're going to talk a little bit about nurturing our clients, which is also really important to keep your business going and expand your business. But your renter clients are definitely people that you want to be good to, because you want to tell them, look, stay here for a year, 2 years, we're going to fix your credit, or we're going to get a bigger down payment, whatever the reason is that they can't purchase right now at this time. And you want to direct them and nurture them, and they'll become your buyer clients. And I know that it seems like, oh, 1 year, 2 years is a long time down the road, but trust me, if you're working every day consistently, 1 or 2 years comes really quickly. And then all of a sudden that's business that you've aligned for yourself. The idea with real estate is that it's really hard to push that big, when you're pushing a snowball, I don't know if you guys ever made snowmen growing up, right? Or if you're pushing a big rock, it's hard to get it rolling. Okay. So you got to think, when you put all that effort in to get it rolling, you have to consistently keep searching for business in real estate, or it's just going to stall. Right. And how do you find opportunities? So this is just a quick list before I get into everything else. So they say you can send out direct mail, right? If you want snail mail, email marketing, phone prospecting. Again, I get a lot of, I hate making cold calls. Make them warm calls, right? So if you have your center of influence, it's a warm call. You know them already, or you sold to them already, or you see them on a weekly basis. I have a habit, 10 business cards out every day. Now, I know I say this over and over again, but I'm going to make you guys have it ingrained in your head that anytime you're in that opportunity, you get really good service at a restaurant, for instance, you're going to turn around and say, oh, thank you so much. That was really great. Here's my card. If you ever need anything, please call me. And don't be mistaken by the power of that. I feel like I tell my stories over and over again. I don't know who has heard and who hasn't, but I was in the line one day in the bank, and it was the easiest, honestly, transaction I ever got. I was standing with my sister-in-law. She was closing on her house, and we were chatting and going, oh my God, lawyer, we got to be there in a certain time. We got to get this check. And the guy in front of us turns and said, oh, ladies, if you're in a rush, I'm not, go ahead. And I said, thank you so much. If you ever need anything, here's my card. I'll take good care of you. And he called me like 2-3 months later and just said, hey, you know what? Do you remember me from the bank? Come and list my condo. And I got it, signed it, sold it. So Don't be surprised how many times, if you're handing out your business card on a regular basis, 10 business cards every day, people are going to call you. I know I told this to a couple of agents at our brokerage just maybe 2 months ago, and they were giggling because they went to the gas station and they did that. And he started talking to them how he's looking for other commercial properties. So it works. It really works. They're like, oh my God, you're so right. We only did it like twice now and it worked, right? So you have to do that. So again, social networking is a good place to go. Open houses, we're allowed to do them again. Yay, it's been a long time coming, but those are a really good way to like capture people if you have a listing or if someone needs help with an open house. So I've seen in the chat before that somebody has needed help with an open house. I encourage you guys, if you can't do an open house for your property because you're busy or you just don't have the time for it, still plan one and get one of our agents to do it, because it's a good way to collect buyers, people inquiring about that property. They don't necessarily want to purchase that property I've listed, right? Empower your sphere. So what does that mean? We're talking about your center of influence. Some people call it your sphere of influence. How do you empower them? You say to them, hey, you know what? I'll give you a gift card every time you refer me, or I'll give you, I don't know, something, you know what I mean? You're going to you give them, reward them, empower them, give them a reason to refer you. So I always tell my friends online, because, a lot of these Facebook, I'll tell you a little trick. A lot of these Facebook groups and stuff that you join, they don't let you promote yourself. So there's like Buns. I don't know if you guys ever been on Buns. It's like a home finding place for rentals, and then a lot of those people are looking to purchase if they're a renter, but you're not allowed to boost yourself on there. So I always tell my friends, I go, if you're ever on one of these websites that are like that, or one of these little groups in your Facebook or Instagram or something, tote my name there and I'll give you a Timmy's gift card. Throw my name up just for the mention of my name, whether they use me or not, right? And I give them a $10, $20 gift card anytime they do it. And it's worked. It's resulted in actually in a really good client of mine. I ended up selling her condo at Borough Drive. She purchased a townhouse in Pickering. I ended up selling her townhouse in Pickering, and she ended up purchasing a house in Oshawa. So just from that little blurb and that gift card there for a couple of years ago on Facebook, I ended up getting lots of business off of it. So empower your sphere, get them to work for you, get your husbands and your wives and your kids to always be like, oh, you know what? My dad's a real estate agent. My mom's a real estate agent. My wife's a real estate agent, right? Empower your sphere. Don't negate advertising. I know a lot of people say, oh, I advertise and nothing comes from it, but you have to be consistent with it. We're going to talk a little bit about doing campaigns and stuff like that. Penny Saver magazines, they're not so great anymore. A lot of people were throwing them away. I don't see them a lot anymore, where you get a bunch of them together at the same time. And classified ads, again. FSBO websites. So there's not necessarily FSBO websites. It's just, I think they're not allowed to say directly what the websites are. But if you go to Kijiji, if you go to Craigslist, you see a lot of people trying to sell their own homes. Facebook Marketplace, you can reach out to them and you can try and approach them. Derelict homes. So there you go. There's another place where you're going to go and knock on a door. It's not only the derelict homes, but I think the people that are also doing the renovations and stuff. So if you're driving around and you see a bin in a driveway, and the weather's getting nice now, so you guys have no reason not to get out of your cars, do a little door knocking, or at least stop your car and get out, right? If someone's doing a roof, I've gotten a listing before of someone doing a roof, got a listing before by knocking on doors that I see bins, people do renovations. You see a lot of garbage to the curb. That's a big sign. What are they cleaning up for? A lot of people do a big clean like that before they go to list their property. Knock on the door. I say, hey, I see a lot of garbage, got a lot of garbage to the curb, or that you're doing an extensive renovation. Are you looking to sell the property? Would you like an evaluation of it, right? Neighbors have just sold and are just listed. So you can tell them, hey, you know what? Something just sold in your neighborhood, or something was just listed. Did you see? That's great price they're getting, or that's crazy price they listed for. You thinking of selling soon? Bulletin boards, door knocking, one of my favorite things to do, guys. Every time the weather gets nice, I can't wait to get out there and knock on some doors again, right? And I want you guys, I want to try and touch on pillars today a little bit. Generally it's an hour training I like to do, but at least I want to go briefly over how you guys should have some pillars. One of them should be your farming neighborhood, which you should be door knocking in, right? Retired salesperson book of business. So this is a funny one, but if you know somebody who's about to retire in the business, their business needs to go somewhere. Their center of influence needs to go somewhere. So if you know of agents that are looking to retire soon, there's no harm it may be offering to work with them and then maybe take over their business after that, right? Company closed, orphan files. So again, I don't know, I've never done this, but I guess if you have somebody who has some sort of database that you could pick at, you could ask, if there's a company closing or if there's another brokerage closing or something like that, but I've never done something like that. Home shows, bridal shows, again, that's just like the photography. Home shows and bridal shows are a great place to go, and it's a good way to spend a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon in the convention center. Everyone you're bumping into there is looking to get married or looking to buy a new home or looking to do some renovation to their home so they can sell, and getting ideas from the home show. So learn to be social. You know what I mean? You can't be really introverted in this business. I always tell people when they say I'm shy, I'm like, you're in the wrong business. Then you either have to be on the phone, you have to be door knocking, you have to be social in any kind of social atmosphere, whether you're in your community groups or you're at a function, a party, a wedding, and these types of home shows, bridal shows, out talking on your daily, getting your hair cut, being at the restaurant. You have to be always out there talking, handing out your card, right? And community seminars. Again, I don't know how many of you guys attend. I've attended the Scarborough Business Association one before when they've had it in the area. I did my own community event once. I did, a skating for the community. Just anything that gets your name out there that you can be talking and chatting with people, right? So that's a quick look at where we get our leads and opportunities from, right? I'm just going to stop the share for a second and come back in case you guys don't see this. How's everybody doing there online? Has everybody started? I know anybody that I've talked to that I want to get their business started, or anybody who's come to approach me, I say to them, do you have a center of influence? Okay, so I hope everybody has started creating that. I keep on repeating it because even now, after 15 years being in the business, I go back to my center of influence. It is so important, and it reminds you of what you need. You need to go back and you need to say, oh yeah, I forgot about that guy that I sold 5 years ago to. I should give him a call. Or, even if you're just calling and talking to everybody, you're at least reminding them, hey, I'm a real estate agent. I'm looking for business. If you know anybody, don't forget to tell them I'm a real estate agent. Tell them to use Christine, right? Stay fresh. Stay fresh. You have to stay on top of their mind. Exactly. Top of their mind the whole time. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to share this article with you guys. We'll go over it a little bit here. So what's our action plan for more leads, listing, and sales? Okay. Like I say, I thought this was an important topic because everybody's been telling me, oh, it's slow now. It's slow now. And I keep on telling them, no, I know the market's going to halt and we have no business now. This is a beautiful business because yes, there are people who might make their decision based on the market, investor clients, people looking to cash out of their properties. But in real estate, everybody needs to buy and sell at some point, right? So business should always be running for you. There should be no excuse, whether interest rates are high, or whether house prices have skyrocketed, whether, I don't know, whatever other factors affect the market, you should always be busy. You should always be studying, doing something, because they are literally, everybody needs to live somewhere, whether they're renting or whether they're buying or selling, right? At the end of the day, everybody needs to live somewhere. Everybody has to have a roof over their head. And you got to figure there's 3.7 million people, I think, in Toronto, right? Off the top of my head. And then, everybody else in all the outskirts, we're not only just working Toronto, there's business out there. There is a business out there. So I don't want to hear it. I want you guys to get to your center of influence and start finding listings and buying clients, right? Nobody should ever be slow. So it talks a little bit about being a new agent. You're often starting from zero. You need to create a steady stream of fresh prospects, leads, and opportunities. So this is the key to steady stream. Okay. One moment, please. But even if it's not easy, it's pretty simple to do. What we need are the right actions done consistently. You never really stop prospecting and generating leads. So this is the biggest thing. When you guys get a good sale or a good listing and you sell it, the worst thing to turn around to do the next day is sit and go, you know what? I can sit back and relax now. I got a big commission coming in 30 days. That's awesome. That commission comes, and then what are you doing? You're turning around, and now you have nothing coming for the next 3 months again while you're chasing those leads and prospects. If you sell something last night, you better be in the office the very next morning, calling your leads and prospects in your center of influence, right? It's the only reason you're going to keep that ball rolling, that I keep on talking about, that snowball rolling in business. You have to be consistent. Okay. So what do you need to do? You need the right actions done consistently, right? So your current sales production, even if it's zero, is the direct result of any marketing, prospecting, listing appointments, phone calls you've been working hard for. I actually have a little checklist. I should send it out to the office just for the fun of it. We don't have to share it with each other, but just for your own personal use. It's kind of a checklist for your week. So what does your week look like? Okay. And it kind of, I'll send it out to you guys. It just says like, how many listing appointments did I do? How many buyer appointments did I do? How many showings did I do this week? How many cold calls did I make? How many people did I get into contact with my center of influence? How many business cards did I hand out? And it's a Monday to Tuesday kind of schedule, and you kind of click yourself, and it keeps you motivated, and it gets you in the habit of doing it consistently, which is what I think is great, because we kind of did it as a little competition at my last office. I had it, and we were all sharing it with each other weekly when we were doing these meetings, and we were seeing who would get the most points, basically. But I think it's something that keeps consistent, just keeps you in your mind thinking, okay, what am I doing this morning? Oh, I didn't hand out 10 business cards. Let me go and do that. Or I didn't talk to anybody in my center of influence. Let me make some phone calls this morning. So your production is always a direct result of what you're doing. You have to remember that. Yes, this is a great business. We don't have a boss, but you still have to be mindful of yourself and your time, right? And what you're doing. So consistency is key with that, for sure. Try creating yourself a schedule. So I know a lot of people go, really? But if you kind of map it out, it keeps you accountable for it. So you got to say, I'm coming in, 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, I'm going to make my prospecting calls. 11 to 12, I'll call people from my center of influence. 12 o'clock, I'll start booking my showing appointments. This evening, I'm doing showings. Then I'm home, dinner time. Great, no problem. It keeps you accountable for your time. Okay. So it's not about trying harder or doing more. This only puts you on a fast track to burn out, right? So that's why consistency is key, because I find that when we get that sale, then we're chasing after business so hard that we're really burning ourselves out. Consistency is key. So 4 simple steps any realtor can start using today to get started, especially if you're a new agent. Getting your first clients is not the easiest thing in the world, right? Your future success is dependent on your ability to rapidly build up relational lead sources, cultivate a sense of trust, remembering to do all the little things that make a big difference in your clients and prospects' experience with you, right? And the only way you can keep track of everything is to use a tool called the CRM. So we go back to last week's training, and I think that's the 3rd time I've done the CRM. I had Remax come once and do it. I've done it twice with you guys. Go to remax.net, sign in. If you can't sign in, I know you guys haven't used your CRM. Call me, we'll try to get you in. Go and use the CRM tool back there. You should be putting everybody in your database. So all your communication with them, it says put all the database of relationships, all your communication with them, and keep track of your activities associated with providing them a great experience. So what does that mean? That means that I go and I call Saraf. Saraf tells me, you know what, I'm really busy right now. I just had a baby, but she's giving me a funny look. I just had a baby, but I really want to buy a house. Maybe call me in a month or 2 once I'm settled into the rhythm of things, and then I will get back to you. You take it and you put it in your CRM. You say, okay, Saraf just had a baby boy, named him John, told her to call her in a month. And you push that to next month. I guarantee you, if you don't do that, you're not going to remember next month about that client. Okay. Because you're going to be busy still finding business. That's what you should be doing consistently every day. When that pops up on your CRM, what you're going to do now is you're going to go, hi, good morning, Saraf. I know it's been a month since I talked to you. How's the baby? Oh my God. I still love that name, John. Your client now, your client now has a personal experience with you. You've cultivated a good relationship with them. So you're not a cold call anymore. No way you're going to be that. You have become top of mind for them as your real estate agent just by making that little change to your routine and entering somebody in your CRM, right? It becomes a personal experience for them. So make sure you can do the following activities in your CRM. Add, update, and merge contacts. sort and filter contacts, import and export your contacts, and send emails. So of course, Remax, top brand, our back office is second to none. You guys can do all of that and a whole ton more in the back office. You guys can set up campaigns for your clients, really specific newsletters, keep all of these reminders in, put notes in there. So again, I could do a whole session on the CRM again, but get everybody in there. This is what you should be using to call your center of influence on a regular basis, right? Develop a simple asset with useful real estate information. So this could be something as simple as a real estate market update, giving people a snapshot of what's happening in their neighborhood with home prices, recently sold homes, and your opinion on what the future holds. You're not looking to write a novel, a simple blog post is enough. So it's not only just something like, they give a little example of this. You don't need something even as fancy as this, in my opinion. What you need is to be setting up everybody in your center of influence, people who are passively looking, actively looking, maybe might have mentioned to you that they're looking. Set them up in your prospects, right? So they're at least getting an email on a regular basis. If you put them in your CRM, you can set them up for one of those campaigns and newsletters that I was talking to you about. Or you could send out newsletters. If you have time to blog, vlog, create these newsletters, create this content, go ahead and do that. That's awesome. There's always content we can pull off the internet too. You know what I mean? If you have time to do that, any announcements that have been made, anything new to real estate. I try to make it specific to that client, which is like why I like setting them up as a prospect. So even if somebody's not a buyer, think of it in this way. Sometimes I'll send sellers the prospect list. Why do I do that? They want to keep on top of what's happening in the neighborhood. So if somebody says to me, pardon me, I want to sell at 123 Main Street, I'm going to set them up in my prospect list. And every now and then they're going to get an email from me and send it out to them. But I also send it to myself. So I have the opportunity to call them and say, hey, I know you're not ready to sell yet. Is the painting done? No, not yet. But did you see that one that went up down the street? Oh my God, it went up for 1.4. Isn't that great? Looks like you're going to have a good sale, right? Let your client know that you're keeping on top of their sale. If they tell you, hey, you know, I'm selling 3 months from now, and you don't call them until 3 months from now, I guarantee you're going to look and see that they've sold with somebody else. And anybody who's been a real estate agent for more than a minute knows this has happened 100 times, right? Where you look up and you say, hey, I was chasing that lead, but I guess I didn't call them enough. I didn't nurture that lead, right? Start conversations with people. So in this step, you're ready to run a campaign that will remind people in your database that we sell real estate. Sounds real silly, but you have to do it, okay? I used to do it all the time at my children's school. I'd go to pick the kids up from school and people would say, hey, how are you, right? And I would purposely make my answer go, oh my God, it's so crazy. The weather's nice right now and real estate's so busy and the kids are so active, you know, I'm running them here and there. People go, oh yeah, you're a real estate agent. I forgot, right? You constantly remind people, find ways to put it in there because it's really important that you remind them all the time. Provide value in the form of useful real estate information. So that's like what I was talking about, sending them information on their property area if they're looking to sell soon, sending them information on properties that might suit their needs if they're looking to purchase. Create a sense of you showing up everywhere all the time. So how do you do this? You're in their inbox, right? Then you're calling them, maybe about the content you sent them in their inbox. Then you're at the same community event. You hand them your business card. You call them, you might say, hey, do you know anybody that you can refer me to? So you're always showing up. You're always showing up. If somebody says, you know what another good thing is, I tell my clients, if you ever see something go up on your street and you just want to be nosy, give me a call, right? Why do I say this? Because I don't want them calling the number on the sign, but I'm offering a sense of call me anytime. You can call me, you can text me, and I'll take you there and I'll let you know how much it is. We could even have a walkthrough, right? Give people tools to refer us with. Again, that's what you created in the previous step. So they're saying that, you know, if you're sending out good content or keeping up to date with what's happening in their neighborhood, they'll probably say to their friend, you know, I have this really good real estate agent. I told her I was selling and she was, that was it. I had her finger on the pulse of the whole neighborhood up until the time we were ready to list, right? She knew what was going on. So you're offering them value. You're giving them something that they can refer you with confidence, right? You take useful real estate information and share it in 2 ways. You can share it in a lot more than 2 ways, but they're saying email the information to your list, so your center of influence, or post on other social media channels, post on your social media campaign on Facebook, Instagram, and other social channels, right? There's a million more ways you can share your useful information than that though, right? I see a lot of people doing great TikToks and having a lot of fun with that. TikTok is a really fun way to do it. And there's a lot of real estate agents on there right now, and they're sharing useful information, but they're doing it in a really fun way. And like, especially the younger generation now is really watching it all the time, right? So excellent way to do it if you're interested. I'm not so great on TikToks. I've done a couple, but maybe I'll brush up on my skills.
But if your kids can do it, I think we can.
Well, that's the thing. If the kids can do it, so they just have more time to figure it out. It's not a matter of can't. It's a matter of you got to sit and learn and how to do it, right? Usually I put my video together and they edit it for me. The kids will edit it. So if you go on my TikTok, it's my kids' work, not mine. So what is your homework now? Okay, so you're going to start your targeted outreach program. If you are slow right now, this is what you need to do. So at the beginning, I talked about creating your center of influence. How do you create your center of influence? That list we went over, people you see on a regular daily basis. For the next 5 days, what you're going to do is contact 30% of your database at the time. Okay. What's the reasoning behind this? Why are we contacting 30% of our database? Because our aim is to be in contact with everybody in our database every quarter, right? So if the 30% you contact this week, 30% next week, 30%, at least once every quarter, we're touching base with our people in our center of influence, right? We're saying hello, we're giving them some good information, we're being useful, we're asking for business, we're asking if they know anybody has business, we're asking for referrals, right? So you need a high value, high touch method of communication, right? You can do this in different ways. So, I mean, there's not everybody that you have to call. I encourage calling because I don't think there's a better way than kind of, being right directly and talking with somebody. And then better than that is face-to-face. But we are in an era of social media. So I admit there are a lot of clients that I keep in touch with on Facebook. Okay. So if I haven't talked to them in a little while, I might reach out to them and be like, hey, how are you? You know, how are the kids? How's mom? She's thinking of selling that home soon. But as long as you're keeping in contact with them in a big way, you have to make a big impression on them. It has to be a direct contact. So they know it's not a mass message, not a mass email. It has to be something direct that you're doing, right? So why do we do this? It gives you the opportunity to ask questions and see if you can make an offer to help. In doing so, you serve your customers so you can secure the repeat business and referrals. If we're just sending a blanket email or we're just sending a newsletter, we don't get that opportunity to talk back and forth to them, right? When you talk back and forth with them, you can ask them personal questions. You can ask them for that repeat and referral business. So why do we do this? It makes you the real estate professional that's always the top of their mind. They know that if there's anything real estate related, they're not, oh, that house just went up for sale. I'm not calling that sign. I'm calling Christine. Hey, one just went up on my street. How much is it up for? Does it have a bid date? Tons of my clients do this. My phone blows up all day long, right? When people hear your voice, they have that chance to interact with you, ask questions about what's going on in their lives, provide value in the form of useful information. You're setting yourself apart from other real estate professionals in client and prospects' lives. And I know that sounds big, but it's really true because a lot of agents out there, all they're doing is sending out a newsletter every month going, I'm not getting any business. Why am I not getting any business? What am I doing? Because they're not having a good relationship with their clients. They're not a real person. They're just somebody sending out. How many of you get a regular email from like a mortgage agent or a home inspector in your inbox? And I know we all get spammed with it. You don't even open it. It's an automatic delete. I'm like, oh God, I get this every month, right? So don't be that person because you're not going to get business, right? The key is to harvesting referrals cultivated by your marketing every month. The point is to take one small action every day and do not stop. So the worst thing you can do is take a week off in real estate. You just put yourself easily a month behind. You're not making money for the next month if you do nothing this week, right? So you've got to get up consistently every day. They say you've got to use the 80-20 plan. So if you say I'm going to work Monday to Friday because I want my weekends off, you work Monday to Friday, right? If you miss Monday, maybe you're going to do some showings on Sunday. because you took Monday off, right? You have to treat it that way in order to make business, because you got to remember this is much effort as you put in, and this is a limitless business. You can make as much money as you're willing, as the time and effort you're willing to put in, right? Here you go. Before you know it, you'll have a steady stream of leads and clients. So this is definitely true. I can attest to it. And it's not like I say that I get slow. I just know what to do in my downtime. So if I'm not busy running around doing real estate, I'd go right back to my center of influence, right back to making those calls, right back to Facebook, texting my clients, talking to my clients, seeing what's going on in their lives. And then we just have a little brief summary here. So here's the best advice, perfect for new agents, or even for older agents, if you feel your production is stalled, right? Set production goals and your plan. Schedule time in your calendar to review your business plan regularly. When reviewing, update your plan and make adjustments to your plan and activities to achieve your goals. So what does this mean? You have to actually set those goals. You have to say to yourself, look, this year I want to make $200,000, for instance. If you haven't made 50 this first quarter, you're not on a good start to make 200 for that year. So set them and say, in the first quarter, I need to make this. It doesn't have to be even. We know that the spring market's a little hotter. So you might say, I don't know, I want to make 30,000 the first quarter, but I definitely want to make up the 70 in the second quarter to catch up and finish strong for the rest of the year. Make your business plan, make your goals, right? And it'll keep you accountable to see how well you're doing in your business. Update your LinkedIn account, update your Facebook account, update everything. If your Facebook is really personal or you post things that are there that you don't want clients to see, well, you better make your profile private because it's easily searchable. Do a Google search of yourself. Actually, I think that's one of the points further down here. Do a Google search of yourself. So how many people have Google searched themselves and their name, right? It's important to do that. If you're not coming up anywhere, how are people supposed to find you? I call them secret agents. How are you supposed to find people who you can't find their cell phone number or their name online anywhere? How many of you guys have got to that listing just as a real estate agent, how frustrating it is that you can't find that real estate agent online, right? Yes.
Especially if it's not on MLS or any, like if it's
super frustrating.
if it's an off MLS listing,
yeah,
and the information is not there. They have maybe like a 1-800 number or something. Like it's
super frustrating, right? Friends, contacts, and clients on social media. Connect to your clients and contacts on Facebook, LinkedIn, and any other social media. Again, a good place to draw business. Like Facebook has been good to me, for sure. I can't say I've gotten any business off of Instagram before. I don't know if any of you guys have. You could share how. I'd love to hear it. And like I say, TikTok's a great one. TikTok's a great one that's new and I'm having fun with. So develop your active listening skills. A key step in serving someone is being able to listen and read into what they really want. So this is important. Sometimes we bump into these clients that we really just don't have the same taste. I know clients have bought things that I thought I would never pay that much for that, but okay, no problem. You have to listen to see what their needs and wants are. Again, Google yourself there. Boost your online reputation. So that's another way to get clients from. When people see that you have a good online reputation, you're posting good content, you have useful stuff, or you have something to offer. You know what I mean? They say you always have to have a reason to call you, right? So what are you offering them that they can call you? Updated comparative market analysis. I know everybody kind of offers that, but think of something out of the box and interesting that you can offer for your clients. Send requests for online reviews for your Google and Yelp accounts, right? So you can send people, you can boost your popularity on Google. If you're asking people for reviews, it'll give you, out of 5 stars it is on Google. The more reviews you get, the more it looks like, hey, these people have used them. They can write a little blurb. They can tell how great your service was. They're more likely to use you, right? Schedule 5 meetings with other professionals. So this is what I was talking about before when we went over the list at the beginning of this training session, where we were talking about reaching out to lawyers, insurance agents, home inspectors, different people like that. Set an appointment, and it can be all 5 lawyers. It doesn't have to be different people. Set an appointment and see if you can get a sort of professional relationship with them, where they're throwing business back and forth and you guys are referring each other. And if it's a lawyer that you really like to use, you feel confident referring your clients to, that's great, because then you don't know, a lot of clients have a bad experience, with certain professionals, and when you refer your clients and someone good that they can use, it's also a good thing for them because they're really helpful that you gave them that advice, right? But remember, as per RICO, we always have to be referring 3 people. So you could always tell them, here's 3 people, but this is the guy I use all the time. He's great. Find one meetup or networking event. So again, like I said, I've attended the Scarborough Business Association before. Anything political going on, any community event. They do a lot of green events. I know Glenda Bearmaker does a lot of green events in the community. Show up, go mingle, mix, talk to people, and keep in touch consistently. Once they're in your database, send them monthly marketing, call them. Like we said, take 30% of it, call all the time. The basic message throughout the whole thing is that consistency is key, right? And keeping in touch with your clients is key. If you're stalled for business now, you've got to figure out, what do I want to do? Do I want to pick up the phone and start cold calling? I'm running out of time. I was going to go over expired and terminated or pillars. We can do that another day, but there's so many different ways you guys can get business that if you're stalled at all, just give me a shout and call me and we'll go over what you guys are doing right now. Have you cold called people lately? Have you gone over your center of influence? Did you send out just sold flyers for your last listing you sold? This is a big one. I tell people this all the time. Send out those just sold and get more business from it. You have clout in the neighborhood now. Why aren't you screaming it out to the whole neighborhood that, hey, I just sold this and it was sold over asking. Your sign in the lawn is a big one too. So listing agents are definitely the ones who get more business. I know we make more money with buyers, and a lot of people say, no, I like working with buyers more, but listing is your lifeline. People will call you automatically. It's free advertising. You call you, ask about that house is not for them. You grab them and you try and sell them another house, right? Definitely a good pot to pick from for new clients, new business. All right, I always try to fit in so much in an hour and it goes by so fast. Does anybody have any questions or anything they're having trouble with? Life? I can't help. I'm not a life coach, but I can help you with real estate.
Question I have.
Sure.
For door knocking and all, how do you approach any kind of a script you have that you can?
Yeah, I have scripts. I actually have a whole, I don't know when I did the last door knocking. I'll have to look back and see. I can do door knocking again soon. Didn't I do door knocking recently in training? I did it, right? Okay, but I can share my script for sure with the office. I always share it. Even I have it on, if you look back at my YouTube channel there, the last time I did door knocking. But I can send one to you as well.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It depends how you approach them is always different. Like the scripts are always the skeleton of kind of what to say to them when you knock on their door, but you might be knocking for different reasons. Like you've seen they've done a renovation, or maybe you're just randomly knocking, or maybe you're targeting them because they're terminated or expired, whatever the reason is. You're going to have to gear the script that way, but scripts are definitely a good skeleton to use to kind of not have you stuck on what to say when you're at that door.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. No problem. Thank you. It's nice to see you guys this morning. I'm missing everybody being in the office. I want things to be more interactive for the summer. I hope more of you can try and come in and sit here because I think it's really good. Like it's good. Zoom is amazing for anybody who can't make it in time, or I know a lot of people tell me they watch at work. But if you can come in, it's good too, because we can be really interactive and talk to each other. And, I think we're more open to questions and discussions. Like I say, you guys have to start thinking of good news, a good story, a bad story, because I want to get back on that routine. I like to hear the bad stories because that's where we learn from. Oh, I lost this listing appointment today, and then we can pick it apart and see why you lost it and help fix it, right? So anyways, no more questions there online. Very nice seeing everybody. I will talk to you guys soon. Call me if you need anything.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day, guys.